Okay. 17th of August, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Got it marked off. Yeah, so we're in the Gemora. And so now we're basically going to do the Ikadabasti La'aha. That's where we're up to.
We started the last part of 113A4 because we talked about a customs collector who appointed himself without the authority of the king. I think that was the last line we read, wasn't it?
Yeah, so today we're gonna we started this this matter of the person that was wearing Klayim.
Right.
So we wanted to understand what does wearing Klayim have to do, Shatnez, what's it got to do with paying the tax collector? Gemora says Lavriach Sameches, to keep away the meches from collecting taxes from him. And I think Rashi didn't mention anything about this.
Okay, the beginning. By the way, we never read the reason of the beginning of that odd scroll. It says customs will levied only on a merchant's goods, not in his personal effects, such as the clothes he's wearing. It is therefore possible to avoid paying the customs on a particular garment by wearing it. So that's why, in a sense, he's putting Klayim on.
What?
That's what it's saying, and also, and that's one reason. And there's a second reason that says, alternatively, the Mishnah refers to a tax that was imposed only on Jews. If a Jew were to wear a garment of Klayim, therefore disguising himself as a Gentile, he would not be charged this tax at all. That's sort of the reason why we're dealing with Klayim to begin with. What's the big deal about it? It's a way of trying to avoid tax.
Okay. Okay, so let's start from the Ikedamasni law aha and explain what that means exactly. What does that expression mean? This is an expression that it's like a trade term that the Gemora uses to refer to a certain thing that the Gemora is doing here. This can be found on the the fourth line after the beginning of the Gemora, which the Gemora is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 lines down from the where the lines go wide. A couple lines down from the Mishnah. And so we're going to go to Ika Damasne La Aha, which the first word on the line is Ha'omed.
Yeah, this is going back to turn back to 113.8.3 in the last paragraph on the right.
Okay. So literally these words mean Ikedemasne law. There's those that learn it on this. But the question is, what's the it and what's the this?
Well, the art scroll says that the it is or the this is going to be explained following. reference to the following Mishnah is what the art scroll says. But doesn't tell us what it is.
In reference to the following Mishnah. This, in other words, this what the Gemora is quoting now with the Klayim is a Mishnah in Maseches Klayim.
Right,
Perek Tes Mem Beis, but Mishnah Beis.
right.
Okay. Oh, and we're going to see that it does have something to do with paying taxes. Okay, so maybe that's why it's over here. The Masni law, aha. Still doesn't explain the law and the aha. There's two things. But okay, maybe we'll understand as we go along. Okay, so let's take a look at this Mishnah. Lo Yilbash Adam, the Klayim would go to who wants to read the Mishnah?
It's at the top of 113A4?
A3,
A3, okay.
bottom, last paragraph of A3.
Okay, Alan, you got the place?
Yeah, the Gemara finds difficulty, right?
The Gemora notes that this discussion,
Oh, okay, it's on the right side, okay. The Gemara notes that this discussion has been recorded in a different context. Ikud Demasne law there are those who teach it in reference to the following Mishnah. Lo Yilbash Adam Kalayim Filu Al Kivay Surah Gedim Riach Bo S Ameka. One may not wear kalayim even on top of 10 garments. In order to evade the customs with it. The Gemara remarks, Misni Chen below Rabbi Akiva. This Mishnah does not accord with Rabbi Akiva, nor was taught in the Brisa, or Sor, Lahava Diach, S. Kes is forbidden to wear kalayim to evade customs. Rav Shimon, Omer, Meshum, Rabbi Akiva, but Rabbi Shimon says in the name of Rabbi Akiva, Muta, he's Riach Es Hamekes. It is permitted to wear kalayim to avoid customs. The Gemara analyzes this dispute. More Layon Kalayim Bahem Mi Lonay. Their opinions are understandable regarding the issue of wearing kalayim without intent to enjoy the benefit of clothing, for they disagree over the following point. Demat Sover Davor She'ain Azin Mocher. For one master, Rabbi Akiva holds that something that is unintended is permitted. Ramar Sover Davor She'ain Mishadim or Sor. Whereas the other master holds that something that is unintended is forbidden. Thus, the dispute concerns only the matter of kalayim. As far as evading customs is concerned, both sides agree that it is permitted. But how can one be allowed to evade the customs with the garment of Gemora Shemuel? Why Shemuel has said, Dinor the Malko Dinor, the law of the kingdom is a law. One must therefore pay the customs as required by the law of the kingdom. So it's interesting, you know. You're allowed to evade customs, but no. It says one must pay the customs required by the law of the kingdom.
Because we have the principle, Dina de Malchus, Dina. The law of the land, the Torah says one must follow the law of the land where one lives. So the Gemora is asking over here, how could they say that you could, even if it might be permissible in terms of the halachas of shatnez, that you're not over on the isser of shatnez, but you're over on the isser of gazling from the government. You can't do that. You're supposed to pay your taxes. So that's the Gemara's question over here. That's the Gemara's question right here. Let's see. And we still don't have any. Oh yeah, Kedei lahavriach esameches. This is a Rashi that we didn't do yet.
Let me see which Rashi you're talking about.
Yeah, we didn't do. I don't think we did this Rashi, did we?
We did the Rashis up to there. Yeah.
Oh, we did it.
Yeah.
Kedei lahavriach esameches. He's wearing the shatnez in order to avoid the paying the taxes. Even though his main intention in wearing the shatnez is not to get a benefit from the warmth of the shatnez or the protection that the clothing provides, but rather to avoid the taxes. Levisha supplyim. So what is that going on? Okay, so that's we have to understand exactly what was going on over here. So the Gemara, the first of all, let's retrace our steps over here. We got a few steps over here to work on. The first step is we got a Mishnah that says that you're not allowed to wear kalayim. Even the Mishnah in Maseches Kalayim says lo yilbash adam kalayim. Person is not allowed to wear kalayim. Afilu al gabi asara begodim lavriach es hamekas. Even if he's wearing it on top of 10 other garments of clothing, so he wouldn't appear to be getting too much benefit from the shatnez, because he already has 10 garments on top of that. Lavriach es hamekas. And he's only doing so in order to avoid paying the taxes. Nevertheless, he's in violation of an Isser Klayim, of wearing shatnez, says the Mishnah. And on that, the Gemara said the Mishnah is not going according to Rabbi Kiva, because we have a brisa that says that that according to Rabbi Kiva, it'll be permissible to wear the shatnez in order to avoid the tax, because he's not doing so. His intention is, I think that might be what the Rashi over here is explaining. Since his intention is not to get benefit from the shatnez, so he won't be. It'll be permissible for him to wear the shatnez in that way, where he's not getting any benefit from it. Okay, that's step 2. Now step 3, the Gemora said Bishlema, le'inyan klayim b'ha kemefligi. We understand that in regard to the matter of shatnez. Oh, and by the way, there was Tanakama disagreed with Rebbe Kiva in that brisa that the Gemara quoted. The Tanakama said, like the Mishnah in Klayim, Aser lavriach esamechas. It's forbidden to wear the shatnez in order to even in the case of where you're not intending to get benefit from the shatnez, but you want to avoid the taxes. So now the Gemara says we understand Bishlema the Inyan Klein Bahal Kamifligi, that this is what the Tanakama and Rebbe Kiva are arguing about, that Mar Savar Davashen Miskaven Mutter. Rebbe Kiva apparently holds that since he's not intending to get any benefit from the shatnez, so he's not going to be in violation of the prohibition of shatnez. And the Tanakama says, no, he's wearing shatnez, he's in violation of the prohibition of wearing shatnez, period. Even if he doesn't have intention to benefit from the shatnez, nevertheless, it's a violation. So that's that part of the story. But what about, says the Gemara, the other part of the story? What is this that they're talking about over here about avoiding the taxes? That's not allowed. And both of the Tanaim are saying that you're allowed to avoid the taxes. And they're just arguing about the shatnez issue. So the Gemara is asking a question. But how could that be? Because the law of the land is the law that a Jew has to follow. And if the law of the land says you got to pay taxes, that means you got to pay taxes according to the halacha as well, not just according to the law of the land. So that's the Gemara's question. And on that, the Gemara is going to give an answer. And we're going to see the answer right now, and we're going to call upon Lou to read the answers. Amar Rav Chanina bar Kahana Amar Shmuel.
The Gemara answers. Rav Kahana bar Kahana said in the name of Shmuel, B'moches she'ein lo kitzvah. The Mishnah refers to a customs collector who has no limit to the amount he collects. An alternative answer, Debei Rabbi Yanai Amrei. In the economy of Rabbi Yanai, they said, Kamo b'mocher ha'omer may a love. The Mishnah refers to a customs collector who appointed himself without the authority of the king. Third answer, Rav Ashi Amar, the Mocher Kenani, a Canaanite customs collector. English says, who collects more than the king authorized him to.
Okay, you actually skipped where you went to the answer. You did different answers.
I thought you wanted me to do the answers.
Right, but the answers actually started in the column before, and the third answer is something else that was listed above that we didn't go to.
I don't understand.
You started reading. Look at where you started reading. You started reading on the right paragraph, correct? the Gemara answers.
right? Correct.
We were up to the left paragraph, the Gemara answers. And there were only two answers over there on that side.
Oh, I see. There's two of
There's
them,
another-
Rabbi Tanina Bar Kahanas.
Yeah, because it's another case that's talking about over there.
All right, so it's the same thing, though.
Yeah, it's the same two answers. The third answer is for something else.
Yeah, now we can understand what the Gemara, if anybody's interested in that anymore, I think it's worth noting that now we can understand what the Gemara originally meant when it said "Ikademasne law." Aha, there's those that learn this on that, and so we clarified that that was referring to this Mishnah in Klaim, and this is the Brisa also, I guess, about wearing the Klaim to avoid the tax collectors, and the law, didn't know what it was referring to. But now I see what it's referring to is the two of, hey, 1 second, you can't do that. That's usher, dinner the malchusa dinner. You got to follow the law of the land. So this whole exchange of dinner malchusa dinner and the two answers, the Gemara said above, it was referring to our Mishnah. And now the Gemara is saying, Ikademasne law, those two answers that we answered, there's those that learn those two answers, on this Mishnah in Klayim, not the Mishnah in Bava Kama. Just wanted to clarify that for anybody who was interested to know about that. Okay. So basically what the Gemara is answering over here is that you're right. If it's a real dinner de malchusa, so then you have to follow it. But apparently we've got an answer over here that what the Mishnah and the Brisa with the shatnez is talking about, that he's wearing shatnez in order to avoid the tax. We're not talking about a case of a validly and legally collectible tax collector type of a guy. We're talking about a crook. And for him, so the Gemara says, you're allowed to stay far away from this type of a guy. And it has nothing to do with dinner de malchusa dinner.
Yeah, that's the second answer. But the first answer talks about whether it's a fixed amount or not. The guy can set what she collects.
And that's the reason why he's also a Goslin. And he has no authority to collect what he's collecting from you. So you can avoid him as well. Right? We got two answers that they're explaining why it is that the Mishnah and the Brisa is saying you can avoid the tax collector over here. The first answer is this guy collects whatever he wants. The king didn't tell him to collect whatever he wants. He told him a specific amount, a fixed amount. But he's collecting whatever he wants. So that guy you could stay away from. The second guy is also you could stay away from him. The king didn't even appoint him at all. He's a self-appointed tax collector going around collecting taxes from people that they're foolish enough to pay him, that don't know. You don't have to pay that guy either. So that's the case where the Gemara is saying in these two answers we are using to answer the question of what about dinner de malchusa dinner. So this issue is an issue that's relevant to these cases of Klayim, just like it was relevant to the issue before about taking the change from the box of the tax collector in our Mishnah here in Bava Kama. Okay. And now we go weiter. Ikeda masne, aha. Oh, Now we're getting the hang of it. We know what this means now. Ikedemasne aha. And it didn't, this time it didn't even say ikedemasne la aha. It's just an aha. So who wants to read the ikedemasne aha? Whose turn is it? Phil, you want to take this because you haven't seen it. You haven't read any Rashi yet.
Let me see which one we're still.
Oh, unless you want to read the Rashi Dina Malchus Dina, you do that.
I'm not sure. I don't think we read the set. There were two Dina Machal Sedin, so I'm not sure we read the second Dina Machal Sedin.
Okay, very good. Let's read that one.
We're talking about the one that's two lines from the 2 lines up from the bottom, from the narrow lines, right?
Yeah.
That Dina Machal. Okay.
Very well.
Dina. The Nimtze Shegozel at the Moches Yisrael Zeh. No, he finds that he will be stealing, he'll be thieving the theft of that customs amount. Hamoches Yisrael Zeh Shekibel receives, the one who receives the customs. Miyad Melech from the hands of the king, Nachri, the heter of with permission.
What is Rashi talking about? I don't understand why Rashi's making this so difficult. I'm not sure what's Rashi's saying something. I don't know what he's saying, but I wouldn't have thought that it's necessary to say anything at all. The question that the Gemora is asking is a simple question. The Mishnah and the Bryce are saying wear the shatnez, and one says you could do that. You can wear the shatnez like that to avoid the tax collector. One says you cannot do that. But that's all in regard to shatnez. But there doesn't seem to be any problem with the din of the malchus of paying the taxes, of avoiding the taxes. That doesn't seem to be a problem. Or is saying, what do you mean? Why isn't that a problem? What is it that Rashi's saying over here? Din of malchus a dinner. Nimslish gozel es hamoches. Yisrael zeh shekibel es hameches miyad hamelech. You know what Rashi is saying? Rashi is saying the tax guy is a Jew. I don't know where Rashi saw that he's a Jew. Nimsa shegozel es hamoches Yisrael zeh shekibel es hameches miyad hamelech nokri beheter. Rashi's saying, you know what din malchusa is? That you have to follow the din malchusa? You have to follow the law of the land? Why do you got to do that, says Rashi? Because if you don't do that, you're going to come out with a loss to a fellow Jew. Why? What does it have to do with a Jew? Says Rashi, because if you don't pay the taxes that you're required to pay, it's going to come out that you are doing gezel from the Jewish tax collector, this Jewish tax collector here, who received the authority to collect taxes from the king, the non-Jewish king, better, with full authority, not only of the king, but of the Torah. He's allowed to have, he's allowed to do that. He's not a Goslin. He's allowed to collect taxes for the non-Jewish king from Jews. And it seems to me also, I don't know if it's so explicit in what Rashi says, but the way I remember how it works is that the tax collector, he when the king says, okay, you gotta collect 30,000, right? And I think he pays for that, the tax collector, a certain he pays the king a certain amount for the right to collect the taxes, and whatever the differential is, he makes his profit, whatever it is for his work. I don't know what, but and that's why there's a gezel over here, because if you don't pay, so he's got a problem. He's not gonna be able to meet his quota that the king fixed for him. I think that's the gezel. Is there a note in the Rashi? I'm curious. The art scroll. How do they explain this this Rashi over here? Din Malchus Din. It's an interesting Rashi.
That's later on, that note. That whole point, it says Dina Lewis in another case, which we didn't read yet. That's what this one is about. But there is a note. You're saying it's note 43. In view of this rule, the person who bought from the king the right to collect customs.
He spells that. Oh, maybe I misread the Rashi. You know what? I misread the Rashi. When Rashi says Yisrael Zeh, he means this Jew who avoided the tax.
Okay, but it says here, in view of this rule, the person who bought from the king the right to collect customs is legally entitled to them. Thus, when paying the customs is stealing from the collector.
He doesn't mean that the tax collector is a Jew. I read it over again. Who's Yisrael Zeh? Tax collector. He bought the right to get the right to collect the taxes. And so this Jew who's not paying him, he's guzzling from him. It's just that's what they say. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's later. You bought the right. So it's what do we call it? Outsourcing. That's what it's called. You guys made a contract with the king to collect the taxes for the guy. So therefore,
he's got to pay. Yeah.
He really is the representative of the king. So that if you're trying to evade the taxes from the king, from that guy, you're stealing from that guy.
Right. In other words, yeah.
Now,
right. That's
the way the Jew comes in is it, and I'm not making a moral judgment. I'm making, in a halachic situation, and I'm not talking lifnei b'shur sadin, but is stealing from a guy, it's not halachically, it's not a deraisa, it's not an issue. It's only, that you morally shouldn't do it, but really only stealing from a Jew has the full force of Beit Din collection. Different kind of case stealing from a Jew than it would be stealing from a goy.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that you're making. Rashi, that's an interesting point you're making. In other words, let me tell you why I find it very interesting. I would have thought that what's us over here for this Jew is that the Torah says you got to follow the law of the land, right? Rashi is saying what's involved over here? You're guzzling from this tax collector. Why didn't Rashi just say the Torah says you're not allowed to contravene the law of the land?
Coach Tov, I have to go. I have to take care of something. So,
okay, Alan.
Okay.
I got to take care of something too. Chodesh Tov and Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, all the best, everybody.
Take care.
Chodesh Tov, Phil, Yasha Koyach, and Alan and Lou. All the best. Oish.